just love everyone so much in this room. So I'm just like super happy right now. Okay. Well, anyway, this is my friend Zach, and he's here from Colorado. We went to architecture school together. So we met him when he was 18, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. Like, it's been a minute. So it's exciting to have you here. And then all my babies, and that I know so much, and being curious for being here, because I know it's like kind of complicated getting through building and everything. So. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So we always start each class with a breath of fire. It's an upregulating breath, and it turns on your nervous system. It also helps clear out your nasal passages because we're breathing in and out through our nose, keeping our mouth closed the whole time. So it kind of looks and sounds like a sneeze, and so we're pressing from our lower bandha. You were asking about that. So this is our Uddiyana bandha, which is from here to here. And so we're just kind of pressing those muscles out. And so we're pressing all the air out from our nose, and then the inhalation comes automatic. And so we're like, I know it looks crazy as hell, but it's so good for you, okay? That's all we care about up in here. You leave all that judgment out, keep it up there. And so we always close our eyes so we're not judging you in front of you. No. And so we'll inhale, and when we inhale, you want your ribs to move out, your belly to come out wide, and then when you exhale, your air should go all the way down, so you're hollowing out in your ribs, and then we'll inhale, and that'll have you exhale, exhale, exhale. And we'll do 3 rounds of 20 like that. So it's inhale, inhale, and then exhale. And so it's kind of like if I had my mouth open, it'd be like, so that we're just doing it out through our nose, and then inhalation comes on that. So I've noticed some people just keep going, and they just keep, I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? And they're like purple. I'm like, man, it's like enough now. So I'll try to just, and so stacking your vertebrae, kind of pulling your shoulders back, trying to get your neck kind of pulled back, and just getting everything nice and stacked over your vertebrae. And just taking a second just to kind of woosah, just kind of shake the day off. Just recognize the day and just be like, okay, you are no longer serving me to deserve me. I'm going to leave you out of my head for this time, and I'm going to be present in this moment. And then inhale, big belly breath. And then exhale all your air out. And then inhale deeply. And exhale, 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 exhale. Sharp exhalation to the nose. Exhale, 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 exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, 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 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, 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 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand covering your belly button. So just taking a second to connect. Noticing where your breath is coming from, hopefully lower belly. But I want you to imagine your breath coming out through the center of your heart, through your chest. Just picturing your breath coming out through the center of your heart. And just taking a second to be grateful for the things that you have in your life, not focusing on what you don't have. So what are some of the things in your life that you're so grateful for? Or maybe some of the opportunities that are just kind of coming into place so nicely for you right now. Can you just start to feel some love and appreciation for those things right now? Just taking a second to ground yourself in the room. Becoming completely present on your mat. And then take one more deep inhale and exhale. And then as you exhale, open your eyes and come to your downward facing dog. And so just taking a little bit of time, maybe you might need to walk your dog or wag your tail. And take a little bit of a bend in your knees. Your legs are probably like pissed from you sitting all day and like not sitting correctly and clenching. And just really try to send your sits bones up towards the ceiling. So take a bend in the knees and really try to, like you're trying to stamp your booty on the ceiling. Face the roof with your booty, face the roof with your booty. And then take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, press your heels down towards the mat. Taking your gaze at your knees or your belly button. And trying not to focus on the struggle of the pose, but more where can I get more space? Where can I open up? How can this benefit me instead of looking at how stressful and painful this might feel right now? Just take yourself somewhere else and breathe. One more deep inhale and exhale. And then slowly step to the top of your mat. Grab opposite elbows, forward fold. And then keeping your feet straight, just get the feeling that you're internally rotating your feet. So just activating those muscles like you're trying to screw your feet into the ground, sending your sits bones up a little higher, leaning your body weight forward, just turning your head a little yes and no. And then inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then pull your shoulder blades down and back. Really rooting your heels into the ground like you're trying to press your heels through the ground. Engage your quads. And then as you exhale, take a little bit of a back bend here. And then take a deep inhale. Exhale, go back a little further. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, pull back in your shoulder blades, and then step back to your plank position. So in your plank position, you want to pull your hands like you're pulling them back towards your toes and really lengthening in your body, making sure everything's stacked. And then pull your body forward and then press back in the heels, really engaging your quads. And then coming about 3 more inches more forward, bend your elbows, half push up. Inhale, coming onto the tops of your feet, legs off the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Just really firing up our nervous system, just getting our whole body just ignited. Take your heels together, bend your knees out wide, look between your hands, step or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. And then as you exhale, reach over to the right side, trying to keep your arms next to your ears, trying not to cheat and grabbing thumbs. And just breathe. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reaching over to the left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right leg up behind you, keeping your hips squared and heels reaching up towards the ceiling. And then bend try to stack your hips, taking your hip up and over, trying to take your knee up towards the ceiling, looking under your right armpit. Just really allowing that to open up, breathe. Bend both knees, step back behind you, and then reach up and over. And then coming back up and around onto your right side for right side planks. Gotcha. Taking that top leg up and stepping right in front of you, and then press into your left heel, taking your gaze up towards your left fingertips. And so challenge yourself today. Maybe you want to lift that right leg up and hold. And then slowly stepping back, right leg still up, and then right knee to right elbow, hold, and back. Right knee to left elbow, twist, and back. Knee to nose and hold. And then step your right foot between your hands, keeping your back foot popped up, coming up into your crescent lunge. So try to keep that back leg straight and strong, heels up towards the ceiling. Keep pulling the pelvis forward, so kind of pelvic thrust. And then hover that back knee and straighten. Hover and straighten. Hover, popping up into your warrior three, trying to keep your hips squared, reaching towards the front of the room, and then your heel will reach towards the back. Slowly taking your right hand down to the mat. Slowly, slowly stacking your hips. Very slowly taking your gaze up towards your left fingertips. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Woo! Your hips will love you later. Woo! Inhale, rise all the way up, palms press together, just take one more little back bend. And then bend your knees deeply, touch the floor, reach up. And so here, try not to have like a deep, so you want to get like a little touch so you're not dumping everything down into your low back. You're dumping it more into your quads. Make sure you can see your toes. Hands to purse center. Left elbow on the outside of your right knee and twist. Taking your gaze over your right shoulder. And then inhale, exhale, twist. And then try to step that left foot back behind you. Trying to keep that heel down if you can. Detox before we retox. And then stepping back to your chair and hold. Coming back to your prayer center. Right elbow on the outside of your left knee and twist. Again, taking your gaze over your left shoulder. And then slow and controlled, stepping that right leg back behind you and twist. And then stepping back to the top of your mat, forward fold up. Woo! Just kind of bicycle your legs a little bit. Just a little bit. And then inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. See, now this is the resting pose. Now y'all like this pose, don't you? Don't you? Like the little things that we just like struggled, they were so hard, but now you're like, oh my God, this is so great. Oh. Left leg comes up. And then stacking your hips, bending your knee, taking your gaze under your left armpit. It's like you're trying to stick that heel back on the floor behind you. And then bend both knees, stepping back behind you, coming up and over, three-legged tabletop. And then slowly coming back onto your left side for left side plank. And then lift that top leg and step it in front of you. And then press and lift up, gaze up towards your right fingertips. And then see if you can challenge yourself to lift that leg. And then stepping back to your three-legged down dog. Left leg still up. Left knee to left elbow, hold. And back. Left knee to right elbow, twist. And back. Knee to nose and hold. And then step that left foot between your hands, coming up, press that lunge. So again, keeping that back leg straight and strong, pressing into the heel. And then pelvic thrust. And then hover that back knee and straighten. Hover and straighten. Hover, coming up, warrior three. Again, like you're trying to reach your fingertips to the wall in front and stamp your foot on the person behind you. Okay? Take your left hand down towards the mat and then trying to stack your hips as much as you can. The more you flex your standing leg, the lighter you become. Slowly taking your gaze up towards your right fingertips. Really testing your balance. Everything you thought you knew about life. Exhale, forward fold. It's all facing you right now in that pose. Can you feel it? And then slowly take your feet about hip width distance and grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Take a deep bend in your knees to where you can kick your chest on your legs. I feel like y'all look at my boot. Like, I'm sorry. And then just start leaning your body weight forward. And make sure your shoulder blades are kind of pulled down and back so you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. Just turning your head yes and no. So just trying to let our legs do all the work and our top half just completely relax, letting gravity kind of pull it down each inhale and exhale. And slowly release, taking your hands up to your waist, and then slowly, oh so slowly, come on. So step your left foot back behind you into a runner's lunge. And then take your left hand on the inside of your right foot and twist. Taking your gaze up towards your right fingertips. And so take a second and see if you can bind that shoulder back behind you and twist a little bit more. And then taking your right hand inside your right foot and twist, taking your gaze up towards your left fingertips. And then see if you can bind that hand. Maybe you can start reaching like you're trying to grab your thigh even. And keep trying to pull that shoulder blade back. And then slowly release. Go ahead and drop your back knee. And then turn your toes out to the side. Come onto the side of your foot. Jackson heard me. And then just slowly lower down. No ball today. And so just if lowering down that far is too hard, you can kind of work your way down. But you're just trying to let that right knee go out towards the side as much as you can. Just try to breathe. So again, if our body does not feel safe, it will not open up. We can sit here and hold this pose and be miserable and just for nothing if you're not breathing correctly. So if our body does not feel safe, it will not open up. We're doing nervous system training, so breathe. Learn how to take yourself away from focusing on the pain, because that is where it will grow. About how your ass is going to look in your teens later. Okay? And then slowly release. And so just reaching back and then take your toes towards your face, just kind of pulling back in that hip. So you're just straightening that front leg and then toes towards the face. And just pulling that hip back. And then coming up, taking your hand onto the meaty part of your knee, and then just slightly come up onto the back of your foot a little bit. I mean, onto the top of your foot again. Just breathing. And then lower down, taking your hand down the back of your left knee, and then reach up and over for a half camel. So make sure your hips are forward, shoulders are forward. Don't cheat your spinal cord on this one. We're going to tap into some awesome stuff. Some drug dealing going on here. And then slowly release. Reach up and around and grab the top of your foot with your right hand, and then just kind of hold it. I know it's an awkward, weird, horrible, yucky feeling. Just breathe. And then slowly release. Taking your hands down by each foot, and switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Come on. And switch. We got some core going on here. And switch. You should be on your left. And then drop that back knee, turn those toes out, and then you can relax. Or you can be miserable. The choice is yours either way. So choose where your brain goes. You get to choose. You're in control, not your brain. Start narrowing those narrow pathways that give you all those excuses. You must struggle to be blah, blah, blah. I'll be happy one day. That shit. I'm happy now. Even though right now you're probably not happy. Taking your hand onto the meaty part of your knee, coming onto the top of your foot, and then just lift up. And lower down. Taking your hand down the back of your right leg and just lifting up and over. Coming into your half camel. Your half throw up. Your half projectile vomit. And then coming back around, left hand reaches up and grabs the top of your right foot. I know everybody's knees love this, everybody's quads love this. You've got to stress it in order to make it where it's not such a... And then slowly release. Take your right, come up onto your tiptoes, take your right hand on the inside of your left foot twist. And then draw up that back arm, trying to twist a little bit more. And then take your left hand on the inside of your left foot, gazing up towards your right fingertips. If y'all can't tell, I'm trying to get into those hips. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. And then reaching up and over, and then pulling back. And then slowly release. Stepping to the top of your mat, and just take a big wide stance this time. Take a deep bend in your knees. And then step all the way as far as you can on your hands. And then inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, just lean your body forward, allowing your legs to straighten out. And you can either sway side to side, and turn your head yes and no. And so really make sure those legs are working. So lean your body weight just a little bit more forward, but letting the top half just completely feel like it's separating from your pelvis, from your lower spine, your hips. Just kind of getting some kind of separation there. And then very slowly and mindfully, this is an option. If you want to try a little bit, you can slowly see if you can take your heels up off the mat. Finding that push-pull that we have in life. So that is what we are dealing with in yoga, so we can be more proactive in our life. But if we go too fast, we can fall on our face, literally. So be careful. And then slowly bend, take a deep bend. And taking your hands up to your waist. And then slowly coming up. And so take your right knee up. And so everybody here, chocolate shake, who's been my students for a while, chocolate shake. So pulling in our bundle locks. We'll explain later. And so you're rooting everything down. So we're lifting, engaging our core, trying to squeeze it all the way up, and then we're kind of pressing everything down. So take all of that into your left leg and lift your right leg up. So it's almost like you're trying to stamp your foot through the floor, and then you've got a string pulling your head up towards the ceiling. And then slowly take that right knee out to the side and just keep pulling it out to the side as hard as you can. Slowly taking your gaze over your left shoulder. That one. And just slowly breathe. You can always advance this by straightening your leg or by not holding on. And then coming back to center. So we always want to challenge ourselves. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So straighten out your leg and hold for 3. Try not to lean back. Lift higher, 2, and 1. Pull it in. And just really try to pull that knee in. Really opening up in the hip. And then from here, straighten out your leg and hold for 3. Lift higher, 2, and 1. Good job. Take your left leg up. So taking all that, take the time to set yourself up right. Rush into things, and then slowly taking that left knee out to the side and taking your gaze over your right shoulder. You can even challenge yourself a little bit and like try to look back at your booty. Throwing off your balance even more. And then coming back to center, hands up over your head, and then straighten out your leg and hold for 3. Lift higher, 2. And 1, pull it in. And then from here, straighten out your leg and hold from 3. Lift higher, 2. And 1, good job. Woo! So take a big step to your left. To your left. Left, right, left. And then hands to your waist, and then inhale, look up, and then exhale, hinging at the hips, and then just going all the way forward. So again, make sure your feet are forward. And you don't want your head touching the mat because we're trying to get some traction here. So this is how we get traction when we don't have the trapeze. And so just breathe. And take your hands and interlace them behind you, but keep your palms together so you're not risking your shoulders. And then just allow your arms to come up and over, draping towards the mat. Anytime we can get our head below our heart, it's so healthy for our body, for our nervous system. And then slowly release. Go ahead and take your hands down to the mat and come into your yoga squat. So try to see if you can get your heels down on the mat. I know that's easier said than done. And then pressing the knees out. And then taking your right hand on the, like in front of your foot and your shin, and then twist, taking your gaze over your left fingertips. So don't allow that left knee to come in. Keep pressing that right arm to open up that right knee. Just twist. And then coming back, center. Switching hands, left hand goes on the outside and twist. And just try to let go of that low back. I know it hurts a little bit, so you're kind of clenching, and that's what we're trying to let go. And then come back. Take your hands down in front of you. And then you're going to come up onto your tiptoes. And then you're slowly going to start to bend your elbows backwards as you lift your butt up, kind of making a shelf onto the back of your arms. And then maybe one foot might come up, maybe both. So we're trying to get it onto the back of our arms, making a shelf in our half push-up arms. I love all the different angles everybody's at. I love it so much. I love it so much. So really, really try to get the knees. So the higher you can get your butt up. So really try to kind of get the legs up and in the back of your arms. And then remember, our elbows are bending backwards. So in all of our balancing poses, our elbows are always going backwards. And so then we kind of got a shelf, yeah, for our knees, but our core is what is holding us up. So we don't want our knees on the outside, because then we're working more of our just upper body, not necessarily our core. So you want the knees directly behind the arms, so that way we have more core involved than arm. Yes, good. There you go, there you go. And so if you fall out, just try to get back in. Like in life, when you fall, you gotta get back up. And then slowly come all the way down to your big take. It should get easy from here now, right? Too much? So take your heels towards your butt. And then reach down and grab your heels. And then you're slowly going to interlace your hands underneath you and just walk your arms and elbows, and then just lift your pelvis all the way up towards the ceiling. So keep pressing and lifting. I know this one is really, really hard. Sometimes we have to push through the pain as long as it's not an injury pain. To like kind of move the cobwebs of the stuff that we've been doing in our body. Just breathe and press higher. And then slowly lower down. Just windshield wiper your legs. And then coming back up just like you were. So pressing your body back up, trying to get your hips up even higher. So you're trying to take your chin towards your chest, not your chest towards your chin, not your chin towards your chest. And then take your arms up and over, fingertips facing forward. And then come onto the top of your head. So everyone can do this. You can all come up onto the top of our head. We all can do it. We all can do it. So pressing up onto the top of your head. So taking your hands down onto the mat, fingertips facing towards your butt, and you come up. Yes. Coming up into will. So if you can, you must. And I know you are. So, that's pretty impressive there, darling, but take your hands. I'm like, that looks pretty damn impressive, though. Very nice, Wills. Oh, so great. Come on. And then slowly tuck your chin and lower back down. Definitely, definitely. Will is such a good pose. And it just puts us in such a vulnerable state. We're exposing our groin, our heart, our throat, everything that we know to protect. And so when that kind of freaks our body out, right? So you guys kind of lifting that breath up. And we're learning to adjust our body to that, making our body more proactive than reactive, right? So for that reason, if you can, you must come up into wheel. So wheel, hands up. And coming back up into your wheel. Very nice. And so just kind of like listening to the excuses that go on in your brain and try to press into that. Press into when it's telling you you can't. We're here to get the badass in you out, to show yourself what a badass you are. Breathe. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. Lower whenever you're ready. Hallelujah! slowly lower down for 3, for 2, and 1. Take your knees up to your face and then start walking your hands down your back, taking your toes up towards the ceiling. And then just trying to get your hips stacked over your shoulders, keeping your gaze up towards your toes. So don't turn your neck here in this pose. But this is like our yogi gas station. This is where we come to kind of refill, get some energy in our body. So allow big belly breath here. Your belly should look like you're having triplets right now. Don't try to suck it in. That's what I used to do. I'm like, oh my God, my God, it's so gross right now. And then slowly hinging at the hips, allowing your legs to go back behind you. Maybe they touch the mat, maybe they don't. Our bodies are in a different place every day. Breathe. And then interlace your hands behind you. Take your knees to your ears for ear pressure pose. And then using your hands as brakes and just slowly lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. And then taking your knees and just kind of rock and roll 3 times. I almost like failed. And then just forward fold. Don't try to go anywhere, just let your body fold forward. And then slowly coming up, so coming onto your knees. And then interlace your hands in front of you. Taking your hairline on the mat directly in front of your pinkies. And then make sure that you're pressing down. So everybody real quick do this with me. Press down in the elbows and the hands, because this is where all your balance and all your weight should be pressing into. And make sure your elbows are pulled in and directly underneath your shoulders, because we don't want to risk our shoulders to try to look cool, you know what I'm saying? You know, we're still on the cast. I know. And then slowly start to walk your legs up like in down dog legs. And take your time here. You're pressing into those elbows so you can kind of lift your head off the mat, right? So do that real quick with me. Press into the elbows, your head lifts off the mat a little. Yeah? And then you'll keep walking your feet forward, trying to get your hips up over your shoulders. And then maybe you'll take one foot in, you'll play with one at a time, or maybe both. And then you'll slowly take your legs all the way up, and then try to take them back and stack a little bit. Try not to kick, so walk up into down dog legs. Keep walking forward. Oops, so right there. So next one. You ready? You're like, skip. So try not to be so on the top of your head. You should be more kind of like a middle hairline. And keep the elbows in. And so keep walking your feet forward. 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 And then one knee will come in. And see if you can lift the other one. Hey, you're getting knocked over a yoga, you're just not doing enough yoga, right? Like, you know how many times I've knocked over a yoga person in a headstand or I've landed on many yogis. So you want to make sure that you're not kind of on the top of your head when you go down. So you don't want to be more like this. It's more like it's right here. So it's almost like my face is on the mat, and then I'm squeezing my head with my hands. And then you want to walk your hips up forward. I know it feels super weird, but so you just want to try to get it up here as much as you can. Because if you're jumping back here, you're already coming from an unstable point. And so just take one knee in and the other and try to get this stable before you take it up. Yeah? And then a lot of people will have their legs too far forward and they end up killing their core. So you want to keep taking them back and stack. And then you can just sit on the balcony till 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you can start going into scorpion, so taking your legs back behind you. Yes, that's my pure maxing. Back behind you, back, keep taking the way back. Keep taking the way back. Yep, yep, back. No, this one. Yes! Keep taking your legs back further. I know it feels weird. Good job. Woo! Good job! Yeah, who else? You'll try that. All right. So slowly coming onto your mat. Wait, actually come. So sit on your butte. And just take your ankles and cross your ankles over. And then just lift your butt up. You throw it, that's a good one. And then see, so if you're okay with that one, if not, keep working on that one because it's very, very hard just so you can get your butt up off the mat. But if you're okay with that one, take your legs and straighten them out and then just lift your butt up and then you'll lift your heels up. And it's way easier said than done. It looks a lot easier than it is. Yeah. It's like, why won't you move? Woo! Learn something new today. And then just slowly scoot your body down onto your mat and just like try to melt like with every being in your soul into the mat. Jeez, man. No, I don't want everybody to hate me after class. So if a thought comes to you, recognize it as important or not, and swipe it away. Give your mind and your body this time to absorb your practice. Shavasana. When we lack a sense of commitment, except to our own self-serving needs, even in the moments when we intuitively know it was wrong, we would drown out our inner voice of consciousness and essentially do whatever we want to do. If there was pleasure and something felt good, we'd go there. If something is uncomfortable or meant facing my self-centeredness, I was out of it. For me, the temptation to follow my feelings was a wonderful diversion, the perfect exit door from any kind of personal focus. Never making a decision is a decision unto itself. It is a decision to stay in the personal fog. Staying in the confusion is safe because in the fog we never have to face the mundane that comes with committing to the path. Everyone tries to avoid the mundane path, but that's the path that makes us grow. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, starting to wake your body back up again, twisting in the wrists and the ankles, and then reaching up over your head and kicking into your heels, just kind of squeezing every muscle in your body, feeling alive. And then pulling both knees into your chest and just kind of rolling around on your low back for a second. And then straighten your left leg, keeping your right leg in your chest. And take your leg all the way down to the mat. And then take your knee into the corner of your armpit. So keeping it on the right side, kind of pushing your knee into your armpit. So taking it out to the side. Just really opening in whatever way your body needs right now. So focusing on your body, going inward and not just doing the feeling, being present. And then slowly taking that leg all the way across for a supine twist, keeping your gaze over your left shoulder. Right? Your right shoulder. And so try to allow that leg just to keep dragging down towards the mat, not trying to hold or clench or resist. Just letting your body kind of let go. And noticing where our body tends to clench. And then slowly take that knee back over to the right side and now allow it to start draping towards the right side of your mat. Kind of opening on the inside groin. And then straighten that leg, pulling your left knee in. And just kind of squeezing it to your chest as hard as you can. You're rolling it around, giving your hips a little lift. So you can get more lift later. And then pulling your knee into your armpit and taking it out to the side. Just really getting into your intestines, kind of helping with your digestion. Our core little organs and mind, helping it. And then take your leg across your body, doing a supine twist, and try to allow that leg to come down towards the mat as much as you can. And slowly take that leg back out to the left side, just kind of opening up in the groin a little. This is your practice. Do what your body needs. And start to learn to check into your body. Let me tell you something, spoiler alert, you are stuck with this body your whole life. So you better take care of it. You better learn to know who you are and love yourself. So slowly come into a fetal position on your right side in a pose of gratitude. Grateful for you taking the time to connect to your body. For you taking the time to work with your nervous system, to learn how to breathe for a longer life. Taking the time to love yourself, because others will come and go, unfortunately. You are your only constant, so love you, take care of you. You take the time to be sick, or you take the time to be well. Either time, you're taking time. Slowly coming up to a seated position with your eyes closed and your tail on the back of your neck. Just trying to get your vertebrae stacked again. Chin back. Taking your middle finger to the bridge of your nose, and that's finger all in. And then your right thumb is going to plug your outside of your right nostril, your left ring finger is going to plug the outside of your left nostril. And so plug your left nostril, remembering our mouth is for eating, our nose is for breathing. So inhaling through your nose on the right side, with your left side plugged for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale left side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plug your nose and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale left side for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale right side for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale right side for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold. So allow your body to be uncomfortable. Just kind of feel and notice how quickly your body reacts to not having air. Hold. Change is uncomfortable. Hold. Release. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. If you struggle to hold your breath that long, you probably are suffering from anxiety. You're probably having breathlessness from walking up a half a flight of stairs. Your breath is more important than you give it credit for. Slow your breath down. You have an over-breathing problem. So longer breath, longer life. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. May this yoga practice change and strengthen your body and your mind. Thumb knuckles to forehead. The fucked up in me honors and recognizes the fucked up in you. Namaste. Y'all did so amazing and nothing got thrown in here, nothing. So too soon. Oh, we got this 40-day challenge coming up. Oh my God. It's gonna be so much fun. And we're actually we're co-hosting it with Zenben. So we are gonna be their satellite studio. So basically they're gonna be watching all of our meetings. They're gonna be trying to participate live at their studios with us, and so we'll still be leading it all. And it'll be fun. So we'll have lots and lots of people to be accountable to, not just ourselves, because sometimes it helps to have more people to be accountable to. I know that I need accountability. Like when I hire somebody, I'm like, you need to be my boss. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you might be working with me, but you need to tell me what the hell to do. You need to make sure I get my doctor's appointments on time. I got that in the morning.
You gotta start sleeping.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, horrible. So yes, accountability, but and then we just really gotta Mexico.
join you next
Like,
week.
come on. I'll be there for a month, and so I'm hoping that after this teacher training, I'll have a bunch of qualified instructors that can start teaching, who already went to Mexico, and then finished the class the other day, and everybody was like, man, Shay just like sealed the deal right there. Encouragement! Amazing. You're amazing. I love you. So, anybody have any questions? Everybody notice them?
Yeah, that's great.
So, that's really good. It wasn't too hard. I'm trying to be nicer because I'm hearing from a lot of people like, I couldn't walk for like a week after your class, so I'm like, okay, you gotta remember you work with like a lot of pro athletes and they're used to that. And so you gotta like back off a little bit. When people are like having their eyeballs are like gonna pop out of their head, it's like, okay, maybe we don't do all those motions. Oh, when are you competing next, Darwin?
January.
January. So that means you have plenty of time to get a teacher training.
That's like
Whoa, that's like, right?
the fuse just got in
Yeah,
here.
it's that over there.
What happened? What happened?
She's that.
She's trying to kill him.
She's that thing. That's the cleaner.
Use that one as a cleaner.
Zach.
Nailed the cleaner. That's
The brand is that.
Sorry.
I was being clever. You
Yeah.
did it. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't get it, no. You just,
warning next time.
Okay.
He's gonna zap you.
Is that yet?
Ooh, I love you guys so much. I know, I'm having really struggling walking here too. Like,
Yours or yours?
they're all mine.
Yours or yours?
Yours are yours.